Okay, here we are back again. Um, let's just start right off. I'm gonna actually do some baking of some of the. I'm actually gonna do some baking of the texturing that we did in the last video. So let's just jump right in. Hey, yeah. So let's go. So I got the some low poly stuff here, and I got the low poly single texture stuff. So let's just go through and let's clean up any extra materials we might have in these things. Okay, it seems like we cleaned all the materials up. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out what we're gonna be baking. Okay, I left out these supports here because I think I gotta retopologize those to be a little more efficient. So let's just go into the shading, see what we got. And we're shading using cycles. We are baking using cycles. I don't think you can bake with Eevee yet, but correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, okay, so this is what we're gonna bake. Ideally, you want to bake without the shadows, but I'm gonna bake with shadows, and later on we can always change that. Might be some work, but we could change it for sure. So let's go right in here. So you know what we're baking. So let's start doing some transferring. Let's start with the biggest thing. Like start with the biggest things and then the second things. Let's do the ceiling. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this a name. So I'm gonna call this area 1 low poly. Or low, I guess. For low res. Okay, let's unhide these. Let's just hide this for a minute. And these are organized, right? So let's check it out. So this is the ground. This is the wall. Let's just select that. And this is the building, so let's give it an appropriate name. Control F2 to rename a bunch at one time. Set new, go new. Call this level 3. Let's call this area 1, level 3. Okay, this is gonna be the new name. Let's just copy this and try to name some things like that. So we have some level of consistency. Gonna make a new collection, building. Let's just check the geometry, make sure everything is okay. Let's make that. Okay, let's look at the naming conventions. So I'll call this area 1 low, and then it will be the name of whatever it is. So we're gonna do it like that. Oops, let's just name a bunch of them if we want. Okay. Oh, forgot. Let's do that over. There we go. Naming things in some somewhat readable form is important to keep track of when you're doing like a ton of assets. Okay, so I think we're cool to go. Call this high res. Put res in the end of that. Okay, let's hide this. See what we got. Let's just compare. So we have ceilings. Okay. Call this ground. Support beams. Of course, we have the building in there. Okay. Let's take this a step at a time. So anything that I'm not gonna bake, I'm just gonna turn off the render tag on there in Blender, and select ceiling. Okay, so we have 2 objects as a ceiling. That's fine. Let's go into this ceiling here, and let's go into our UV editing tab, and let's just lay out some UVs for this. Let's go smart UVs. Let's just see what we got off the back. Okay, so I'm gonna use this plugin I have here called UV Pack Master 2. So I'm gonna pack it. You can get this plugin in at Blender Market. Let's separate this. Let's see if we can make it pack a little bit tighter. Oh. Disable shared, okay. We select that. And any piece that I think is like too long, I'm just gonna grab it and just move it away. There we go. I'm just breaking up all these long kind of slithering pieces here in the UV map, and hopefully the algorithm in the auto unwrap, or the auto pack rather, that they will be able to pack it a little bit nicer without having to deal with these kind of weird long angular pieces. Let's see what we got by just doing that. It's back. Yep, it's a little bit tighter. See, it's really these angular pieces right here that kind of stops it a bit. So let's grab a few of those. We got one more set right here, just break those apart. I like a little more hands-on UV mapping, but when you have a corrector you could do that. When you have like these levels, you know, auto unwrap goes a long way because you have a lot of content level wise. Okay. I think that's fine. Let's give this a little more margin. Let's back that again. Give this a little more margin. Okay, I think this looks a lot better. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to make an image new, and let's see. I think 2048 is fine. I think anything more than that is just, it may be overkill. Okay, so let's see. This is ceiling. I'll call it L3. Don't know alpha channel, keep that basic as possible. What I'm gonna do here in the UV thing, I'm gonna create a little window here with the shader editor, so I could just view the shader on the material, on the object, sorry. And let's just bring this down like so. Let's just save this. I don't know why all these are open. So funny, all those are expanded. Okay. So I'm just gonna apply a new material. Call that level 3. Call this area 1, A1. Okay, so select that, then that, and then this. So we should bake from these things straight into this map right here. So let's see what we get. Okay, so we're going with CPU. We got 32, we don't need this much. Let's see the denoiser. Let's see what we get with just these default settings. And let's go into actually noise threshold might take a while. Let's just see what we get with the samples. And then we want to go into bake. You actually could take the bake and bring it all the way up. Okay, select it to active. Pixel 6. And extrusion. Give this a little bit of extrusion. And this should be fine too. This should be ready to rock. Let's just make sure I'm safe. So we're going from these two to this one. I'm gonna bake right here. Let's get rid of that. Oh, and we gotta add like a node in here for the image. Also would throw up errors when it's baking. Texture, image texture. I don't know why, but that's just the way Blender likes to. Blender likes it when the texture is present there. But don't hook it up though. So let's save. And let's bake. So it's baking right now. He says stacks are baking 1%. I'm gonna take a look at my my cores and see if my cores are working. I have a lot of cores on these machines. It look like all is being used, so. Yep, so this baking is going to take a little while. That's 4%. And maybe we could fine tune the bake for the other things to see if we could get it a little bit faster. Actually, I'm going to stop and tune the samples now. See if that helps. Stop this job. Yep, seems like it's going. So we're going to do, we're going to jump over back to these settings here. There's viewport samples, that's fine. See, viewport samples at 30. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to go 512 with denoising, right? And let's just take a look at what result we get. So we're going to have to bake it again and see. Okay, while it's baking, I'm gonna just throw in the little video there of the game being played. You don't want to do too much moves on the computer as it does its rendering. So I'm just gonna switch out and be back in a few minutes. As soon as it's finished doing this render right here, because this is a live, right? So we're getting a live thing of baking actually. So this may take a few minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. I stepped away for a moment to be honest with you. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here with just this bake. So I'm looking into the bake here. It doesn't look like overly noisy. It looks decent, and this is just the ceiling. So let's see what we got. So if I go isolate that, and I drop that little thing on there, and I go shading, and let's turn all the shading on the material. Let's just view the material itself. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's a low resolution texture only because, you know, I want to be able to conserve, you know, like the texturing space. Now, what you normally could do is like wherever the person sees the most, that gets the most amount of texture space. So we could let's do that. So let's go back in here, and let's say the player, he's seeing this, he's seeing this. So these places are gonna get the biggest amount of texturing space. Everything else is gonna get a tiny amount. Let's go into here again. Right, everywhere else it's not that critical. So let's see. Maybe like here. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the UV editing. Let's just grab these guys out here, put them aside here. Let's select everybody else. Grab these. Let's just put these guys right here. Okay, let's make these guys fill up as much texturing space by packing it. Yep. Now you're gonna notice that yep, let's turn the margin down a bit. Just pack that again. Okay. Now there's several different things you could do in here. Well, let's see. If we pin these, can we then just say pack this? Yeah, see it packs it on top. So let's see. So let's undo that. Unpin that. Would it just pack, if we just do pack without anything, would it try to pack? No, it just packs it in a complete square, right? Let's grab that. Okay, so what I like to do is to make a little area. So this could be a little bit messy, right? This program actually has like a okay, a non-square packing box. That's something called a packing box. So let's go to packing box. Let's draw the packing box. Draw the packing box again. So I'm going to start right here. Okay, now we're just going to pack all the important parts in the packing box. Okay, let's try that again. Let's draw the packing box over. Let's give it a little tighter. Draw that packing box again. Okay, so we packed like most of the bigger things here and packed some of the smaller things there. Yeah, this program is pretty nice. Other than that, you'd have to like pack it and then arrange things manually and then kind of get it to this way. So this way is a lot quicker. So let's try to rebake that and see if we get some more surface area covered. Okay, so let's come out of this isolation mode. So I want this and this baked to that. And what we need to do when you're rebaking, you gotta disconnect this texture right here. Let's hit save. And you know what? I think I might want to go up in the sampling. The samples is 512 with some denoise. Let's go you could go 768 if you want. But let's go 1024. Oh, when I reach this low noise threshold, right? So no, let's do this. Okay, so it's gonna take some more time, guys. But this is what it comes down to, right? Like baking like this. 512 wasn't bad with the denoise, but let's just see what we get with 1024. Now I'm thinking that this translates straight into the baking. I'm thinking that the render is. So I mean I could be wrong, but I'm thinking it is. I don't see any other separate bake quality settings, so it should be what it says it is. I think you should be able to bake on the GPU. Let's try that. Well, I like all my cores going. Let's see. GPU may be faster with the threads. Let's see. GPU compute. Right, so yeah, I think like the whole GPU Blender compute thing is a little bit different. Let's bake and see. This is going a lot faster. I think yeah, the GPU has more threads. I like using my CPU sometimes. Yeah, and we're still going. It's doing pretty good. Okay, texture bake. Okay, so that's definitely a lot cleaner because you know we probably got more stuff stacked in here. Let's just go straight for the gusto. Let's see what we got with see what we got with our guy over here. Let's just hook him up. Yeah, so there's more resolution. So I think this should be fine for what it is we need. Put it as readjust. Let's just add a mirror modifier on this to get the whole thing going. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna try to separate the lights here. Okay. I'm actually gonna go into my layout, just select these things out real quick. And all I'm gonna do is just do a separation and drag a light material on these things. You know, you could separate within the mesh, like almost like a polygon group type thing, like an element. Actually, make it, yeah, you turn it into an element. So let's see. So if I invert now, I just have the light selected. Alright, and I'm gonna press Y to make an element. So if I grab, see, it's just those things. I'm actually gonna add a new material. Let's see if we get that light material. And I'm gonna assign it to the things I've selected. So if I do go over here, so yeah, there you go. Should look a little bit lit. Okay, so that takes care of that guy. It's not. Let's keep it simple, right? So we're gonna go back into to UV editing. Right. I'm gonna hide this guy. I'm gonna hide the ceiling. I'm gonna leave the ceiling, but this is finished though. So, okay, so next thing is the ground. That was the next large object that we have. This is actually divided into two objects. My grounds is divided into three, so we gotta investigate that and see exactly what's going on there. So I'm thinking what's going on is the extra strip here. So the strip here is one. Yep. The strip here is another one. So what I want to do, I should join these make these into one. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna give this this is ground, call this platform. Let's see if we can get ground platform here. Platform. Call this ground. I'll call this platform, I'll call this ground. Okay, so these are the high-res things. Get rid of that. Okay, so we have ground, ground, yep. And then we have the platform. Oh, this is a platform, okay. Okay, so let's select these two things and just scale those. And let's just unwrap these. Oh, so we may have a few things to break up, so or we could just select out exactly like the largest areas like what we did again. Let's just do that. Let's just isolate that. Let's go through. When I call the largest areas, I'm thinking of the areas that almost all the areas here, you know, you'll be able to see as being something. So well, let's still go through and just call those guys out. Actually, not that. This and this. So these guys right here, and let's go ahead and pack these guys. It's pretty good. Ooh, these guys are packed. Weird. Grab this. Grab all the long pieces. Grab. Just breaking up any long pieces. Let's pack that again. Oop, I missed some. Let's invert that. Just grab that there and let's do all. Okay. What do we want to do? Scale to the like that. Yep. I want to do the vertex. Okay. Let's just break this guy up a little bit. Let's break this guy up a bit. Like that. This is a box packing again. Let's try that. I mean the packing box for this plugin. Coming in pretty handy. Let's select these guys. Let's pack. Okay, I think this is as good as it's getting here. Alright, so that's all the important parts that we want packed. You know, while I'm in here, I'm just gonna give this a new map. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Let's go go L3. Okay, so I'm gonna go from this platform to this platform. Let's make a new material. See what the ceiling has. Let's just save this guy out. That's one thing we gotta do, image, save. Okay, we're just adding setting these things up so we could bake it. Okay, so we're going from this platform here to this one right here. Let's see what we got once we bake it. I'm just using my actually what I want to do is actually hide this guy. We go one at a time with these things. Just try that over. Yep. A lot of this, like when you're baking textures and you're doing different, it's a lot of trial and error according to how the game engine is going to do. Sometimes you can bake out different passes. You could bake the diffuse pass, and then the specular pass, and a normal pass, and compile the way the shader looks back into the game engine. But because it's just me and I have a limited amount of time, I'm just gonna bake everything down just to get the look, put it in there, you know, and we could always go back and do different passes and stuff just to, you know, once we have all the pieces of the game together. So I think broadcasting this baking is pretty cool. I mean, it's a little boring, but we could jump onto something else. I was looking into a part of the character that I was developing, and we could look into that. And that involves some 3D code, some Blender, so we could jump straight to that after this bake here. And I will just do the baking offline. I wouldn't bother to broadcast it. Unless you guys talk to me in the chat and say that you like it. No, so that's the baker. That's interesting. So technically, if I do this, actually undo that. Let's just select this guy here. And let's plug this guy in. That's not bad. So we have that bake, and then we have the ceiling. Oh. Yeah, I think it's gonna do its job. Let's just mirror this. There we go. Yep, it has some more lighting influence in that, but that's fine. So you could look at different passes combined. This is a diffuse color pass. So this is just raw diffuse color. Let's go back to this. Diffuse light pass. Let's go back to combined. That's fine. Yeah, I'm liking the way the floor is looking. Let's do the other piece of floor. So let's save this guy here. Okay, so what I want to do, kind of want to hide that guy there and hide this guy here. Let's come out of. So we're gonna go from, so this is a ground. I'm gonna go from this ground to this ground. So we're gonna do the same thing with the ground. Let's take a look at it. I think all of this ground is important. So let's just unwrap this. And that's fine. So new. Okay, post level L3. Here 1. Okay, just double checking some things here. Let's make a new material. L3 underscore area 1. So, okay, so we have a texture for it. Let's just add that texture we just made right there. Alright, so it's in tandem with that. And we're gonna just undo that for now. It's already unwrapped, so technically we should be able to go from this ground to that ground and bake it. So let's see what we got. Let's just make sure it's the only thing that's renderable in here. Let's turn that off. I don't want any of my low-res stuff to be renderable in that sense, in the sense of the word. Let's keep that like that. That doesn't have to be. So make sure all the high poly stuff is good. Okay, I think we should be good to go. Let's rock. Let's go. Okay, so it's baking. So let's see what we got. It's going from the high to the low. Once we're done with this, we will be over with the ground. We'll move on to something different. Just saying hello, just in case if anybody's watching and they want to get in the chat there. If anybody's watching on YouTube, you know, let me know if you could see the chat, you know. I think you can. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is an interesting pattern. Yeah, so this might be working. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. I think what's going on there is like some reflection, so it's trying to reflect back some things. So I'm not sure what's, and then there's a light situation that's going on below there. So let's just hook it up and take a look. Okay, so we have all the low stuff. Let's just turn off the high-res stuff for now. And I'm gonna turn on the low-res ceiling. I'm going to turn on low res ground and take a look. Okay, yeah, so there's some, yep, there's some things going on here to do with the reflections and all that. Okay, I see like this is a light there. Let's get rid of some of the specularity off here and let's see what this looks like. I think this is fine for now. Just mirror it. Yeah, I think this works. It gives the feel for what we're going for. And it has some of the texture. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so I'll call this done, finished for now. That ground is finished. Building low res. Okay. Ceiling. Let's make sure to turn off all the render tags on these. Okay. So I think this is good for now. Let's stop right here. You know, next thing we would want to probably go on to is baking the walls. But for interest's sake and not to bore you out of your mind, I'm just going to stop right now. I think it's working out. Let's go into the layout view here. Oh. Yep. So we're getting somewhere. Nice. Yeah, baking is so cool. And of course, if you stand here and you look around, you can see how the player sees it. And I think that's good. That's good to go. Okay, let's move on to another part I was looking into. I'm not seeing the thing I was working on last night, but let's just save this. Let's go. Let's save one modifier's image. Oh, I have to save the image. Thought I did actually, but let's go back into texture editing. Oh, actually I probably didn't. So let's go here, save it. See, Blender tried to warn me, say, hey Nick, you didn't save. So, yep, so we're saved. Save the image. We're not saved, we just saved the image. Well, I'm saved through Jesus, but that's a whole nother thing. Let's do this. Okay, let's see what we got here. Student support drone box. Face scheme test. I did a bunch of different tests. This sort by date. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, a SOTS harness. So I was testing out a harness that I want the character to wear. Let's see. Exam material. We're testing all these I don't restrict it to 24 frames. Let's go in here. This was 60. I want to give myself 100. Even if I reverse it. Okay, just testing out. So this is a prototype I have to like make in 3D code. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select these, and I'm gonna save these as a mesh, separate mesh. Export for work and 3D code. Let's see. Selection. Probably should try to be organized. So put import. To make another one called export. And I throw a quick matte cap on it just to get an idea. But yeah, so now you do concept and you have to do things like this. Let's get 3D code running. Let's see what we got. So I tried to make it earlier, and I think it's okay, but it definitely wasn't working out. So this is what I had. So technically, what I actually want to do is to rotate this like so. Let's see what we got. Yep. I want to be somewhere like here. Yeah, so this needs some work. I'm almost tempted to start back from scratch. You know what? Let's start from scratch. It's a cool idea, but I don't think it's gonna work. So this is like a templated model of the character actually. Let's bring in our other template. So I'm gonna make a new volume here. Import nested voxelization. Go into my work files. And I had an import. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it imported it, but it's not showing it. So I know, like, if you try to hit auto scale, you have to play with these settings to get it to go to main, to center, mass, auto scale. Don't know where it went to. You see the auto scale, so small it is. Reset space, reset axis, auto scale. Okay, it's coming in there. See that? It's tiny. So let's scale that up. Let's scale it up by like a factor of 500. Yeah, it needs a lot more scaling than that. Let's go 3000. And it's gonna try to voxelize this, right? 2000 may be a little bit much. Auto scale 100. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you know, it has it in a kind of template form, so we could play with this until we get it to where we need it. I think this is a general size of it. So this is just a template for you to, or for us, or for me to kind of gauge. Let's do something like that. Yeah, so with this I could kind of gauge how I'm gonna have to build this thing. Make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so this looks like about fine, so I'm just gonna just create this. This is the first time you've tried to import an object into the scene. Do you want to keep the initial scale? No. That's fine. We're just using this as a template to build the final thing. Let's go into the quick select here. Hey, let's try some fancy materials on it. Okay. So I need a piece like that, piece like that, piece like that. Yeah, so I could totally design this in a fashion that makes sense to the design. Maybe we could go like that and around. Okay, so there's several pieces to this. There's this piece here, and then there's this circular piece here. So we want to build this thing in pieces, and that's going to be another stream. That's not going to be today. You know, my head is just crowded with a bunch of like stuff, and I can't focus too much. You know, but this is another good template right here. You know, so we're gonna get back. So the next stream we're gonna get into 3D code and probably build this harness thing into pieces for later. You know, it's good to break up what you do. You know, I've been focusing on trying to get like these levels done, and we'll definitely get back into that. But we'll sometimes segue into designing this thing here. So I think this is cool for now. Let's just save. Alright, these two things are templated for later use. And probably could make it a lot more stylized. And the character is going to change a lot, but this piece of apparatus should work for either, for the way it's going to change. Alright guys, so that's it. This has been Nick, Heavenlyform. This is the design process and artwork that we're doing for Soul 3000, a game that we currently have on Steam. You can check it out. You know, you know, I just want to thank, you know, for anyone that's been, you know, presently watching and that kind of thing. You know, we do like a support. So if there's anything, I'll see you guys later. You know, God is good, and take it easy. Okay. See you till next time. Bye bye.